Hey everyone! So this is the Ask the QQH questions panel, and I will be watching the thing and trying to answer all your questions. And I will also be shading and coloring this little owl because I am an artist and I have no ability to stop using my hands. So like fidget or not. So I hope everyone's having fun. I know IFC just started today, but I hope that you're enjoying yourselves. If you want to see more work I do, because this is not like representative of what I do for commissions and stuff, this is just a fidgety toy. You can go to my website, which is quackquackhonk.com, and check things out. Or also there's a link that you can plug in to get art for my panel on Sunday to color with me. Hi, Pridemore. So feel free to go right ahead and type questions in there. I am a safe for work artist, so I would really love it if it stayed safe for work, especially at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Don't forget the charity.
Oh, and yes, the charity. You should definitely swing by the charity's website.
There's a link.
There's a link on the main page there, so drop on by and help them out because they are wonderfully nice people. There is always lots and lots of fuzzy bunnies and all kinds of little critters to pet while you're at IFC normally, and I always make it a habit of stopping by. My favorite Disney movie, oh, there are so many. Right now I really keep going back to Moana, but my first favoriteest of all favorite Disney movies was originally The Little Mermaid. I was in high school when it came out, and I got to see it in the theaters. But now I feel very much like a hoarder whenever they sing the songs about putting stuff around the house and I want to clean. Yes, ERPs. I was having a brain moment and not able to remember the charity's name. Thank you, Leonard. So, yes. Trying to remember, there wasn't a lot of, like, you had to buy them when I was a kid. So I only saw a few of them because we had, 4 channels. And one of them was like PBS or something. So, like, got to watch all the PBS stuff. I don't remember when cable came out. See, yeah, I know that it came out after I was a kid. My parents never got it, though. In fact, they never got it. Like, to this day, they've never had cable. Eventually, my brother got sick of my dad watching free television and went over and hooked up his own Netflix to their television so that they'll watch something else.
What are you coloring with?
I am coloring with Derwent Watercolors and Inktense Watercolors, which is also a Derwent product. I have played with a lot of different products on these woodcuts, and the watercolor pencils were my favorite ones. I think my favorite was either 20 or 50, channel 20 or channel 50. One of them played all the morning cartoons. And those were the ones that when we woke up, our parents were still asleep, and we could watch whatever we wanted for a while, because my parents were very strict about television watching. It wasn't screen time, it was television content. So they they censored what we could watch. I miss you too.
So what's your favorite cartoon?
My favorite cartoon, well, I am also one of the people who really loved Gargoyles. I loved Gargoyles. Also She-Ra. That was one of my favorites because girl power. But She-Ra was kind of funny because one year my parents decided that they would do something funny, and they gave my sister the She-Ra doll, and they gave me the castle. So I'm not sure how you play with just the castle. They seem to think that like it would make us play together, but I just took her She-Ra doll and played with it. I seem to remember once upon a time the She-Ra was taken away. I have, and I love it too. I need to rewatch the last few episodes because I missed some things. Because I was, I don't know, probably playing on the internet or something. But I love the new She-Ra. I also love how it explains and blends the old She-Ra into it, so you don't have to like choose. It's an addition, not a redo.
Favorite classic cartoon?
Favorite classic cartoon? Probably Winnie the Pooh. Is that too classic? Like, is She-Ra technically what most people call classic now from the old She-Ra? And then like Winnie the Pooh and like the... I liked Winnie the Pooh. I know we watched a lot of Bugs Bunny. I liked it when Bugs Bunny cross-dressed. Hey, Xander! And do I have a favorite type of animal to draw? Or favorite drawing I've done so far? I don't think I have a favorite. I have characters I can do from memory because I draw them a lot. I draw a lot of Boozy and Xander and Elkly and everyone. I do a lot of rabbits. Don't exactly know why. I draw rabbits a lot. I really like doing rabbit ears. The big floopy ones that go like up in the air and flip over. I love those ones. Piglet is a good character. I am particular to actual Winnie the Pooh just because he so much just wanted to eat all the honey. And if you just left him alone to eat his honey, he'd be fine. But I identify with Eeyore. I had an Eeyore stuffed animal. It's still around the house somewhere. But it had a malfunction and it made noises it should not make. So the batteries are out of it and it's in storage.
That way the nieces don't get any.
Yeah. I have lots of nieces and nephews, and when they could come over, and when they could come over again, we didn't want them thinking that's what ER sounds like. I wasn't aware that they made a Winnie the Pooh PC game. We had, until I was in high school, we had like one game for the PC because my dad didn't want us playing on his computer. And it was a lot of fun, but it was just a spelling game. And I'm bad at spelling. So I had played with an old Atari on a black and white television. I do have some art horror stories. Mostly they're like pieces I can't finish. Like that I have a piece in my head and I'm trying to do it and it's above my level at that time.
Ann Arbor Art Fair last year.
Oh, my partner just reminded me. I also do those big tent shows that you see everywhere. So, you know, you see people put up those huge 10 by 10 white tents. Hi, Eddie! And those white tents are like there and they're huge. You're there all weekend out in the heat We do one that's on concrete. It's in July. It tops 105, 110, and it gets hot. But on top of it, it notoriously has at least one bad day. Usually one. But last year, it rained so hard. It rained so hard, and it was thunderstorming and lightning, and they kept having to close it down and clear out the art fair. So they had this like huge, loud, blaring noise they'd put over speakers when you had to evacuate. So it's near blackout. It's like 4 p.m. So shouldn't be near blackout. And the sirens are going off, and the city sirens are also going off. So the art fair sirens, the city sirens, and then lightning hit the power lines next to us, and the power lines caught a house on fire, and so then the police are going, and the fire trucks are going.
And the city's on fire.
And we left for the night. But the water, when we were trying to leave, was like ankle deep as it ran down the street.
Through our tent.
Yeah, through the tent, because of course you're on the street, so it's going through the bottom of the tent. It was a day. It rained for 2 of the 4 days this time, but we didn't die and nothing was damaged. And I have insurance because of that kind of stuff. Most of the big tent art shows require insurance if you ever decide to do them, because insurance. My big jam is like Tetris and I played Pong because we had Pong and Tank, but you could play Pong by yourself. Tetris is my Atari like jam. I love playing Tetris and Tetris variants. So like I've totally signed up for Drago's Dr. Mario thing. You should anyone who loves old Atari and like Nintendo games should sign up for Dr. Mario because it rocks. And so yeah, most of the people every once in a while I get something that's like, I wish I just had a little bit more details to go on before I color this because I'm worried that I won't like it, or I'm worried that they won't like it. But I don't usually, like, the people don't usually bother me. It's when I can't do a good enough job for whatever reason.
Hate browsers?
Oh, hate browsers. You guys probably don't know what hate browsers are. I didn't know what hate browsers were until 5 years ago, and I think I've only seen it a few times. Like, it's not common. But a hate browser is when someone comes up to the tent and like goes in, like starts looking at everything and looking for everything and looking at everything, and they're like really looking through all the stuff, but they're like muttering about how much they hate it. Like, oh, this is all awful. I don't like any of this. Oh, why are you here? And then like they pick something out and then go like, I want this. And I'm like, where's the sniper? It's someone like holding your family hostage before so you have to go buy Quack, Quack, Honk gear. Like, this is, like, you should be... I don't know why. So, I am not a game collector per se. Also depends on what type of game you mean. We have a lot of board games. We might be considered board game collectors. I have like very specific types of games I like to play. But like I like resource management games. I like to play. I haven't been playing Animal Crossing recently, but I was playing a lot of Animal Crossing for a while there. And like I said, Tetris type stuff. I'm not as big on the ones you gotta go out and like fight other people. I can have a lot of fun doing them, but I don't usually go out of my way to get them. We have so many board games.
What's the favorite one?
Oh, the favorite. There are so many favorites. There's no one favorite.
I got rid of all but one before you got upstairs.
I would beat you up. I would take you out and then go get them back. It depends on how many people you have. Like, if you only have 2 people, I gotta say King of Tokyo is awesome to play because you can really actually play that with 2 people. A lot of games that say they're 2 people games. You know, I never got into Battleship. Connect 4 always seemed like a tic-tac-toe variant where, like, not really a good way to win. You don't win Connect 4, you lose Connect 4. We played a lot of Munchkin for a long time. And then they get to have like too many extras. For a long time, we got every single Munchkin that ever hit the shelf. And now, there's so many. I try to like, just pick the ones I really like. Partially because I have no room for more games. I'm actually kind of working on clearing out some space in the storage room so I can put our classic board games in storage. The Giant Connect 4 is awesome, and congratulations, Joey. I suck at Connect 4. That's probably why I don't like it so much. Like, my husband always beats me at Connect 4. I'm bad at it. I can, like, block people, but I always go second to it. That's probably it. And I play D&D. So that's another portion of the geek fandom I have in. Let's see, I did... What else was there for the... I was thinking, like, my mom and dad hated... Well, my mom hated D&D. I have no idea what my dad thought of it. He just upheld whatever rule my mom made on that one. Because they were sure I was going to go down into the tunnels and hit people with real swords and get involved in drugs or something from playing D&D. So...
You did live near there.
Yeah, we did live near the, like, one and only D&D related incident in the sewers. Northville tunnels. I think now they're actually filled in and destroyed, but yeah, they were fun to, like, run past the cops and sneak down into the Northville tunnels and scare the crud out of yourself. And let's see then. But so instead of playing D&D, what we did was we played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They had a board game. It was really lacking. But if you put in some if you like overlapped it with the D&D rules, you could make it work if you had a talented game master. So it was complicated, and I didn't know it was complicated until years later, because I was not the game master. I found out, and I was like, oh, this isn't a finished game. So, more questions?
Can we dye your hair with the red markers on camera?
No. That would take way too much ink. We don't have that kind of money.
What are you doing now?
I am taking water and going over the watercolor pencil so it's all smooth and pretty like. But you gotta use very little water because it's wood. And the wood, like, will actually take the water and spread it, take the color and spread it through the other parts. But that's why it didn't work when I tried to do these with marker. I tried to do these with my Copic markers, and it just like they went everywhere. Hi there, Gravel. If I mispronounce anyone's name, I'm really sorry. I'm bad with words. That's why I draw stuff. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have any more true art horror stories. What?
The customer you fired.
Oh yeah, I fired a customer. That was a thing. But that was like, it was a corporate customer. It wasn't like a fur customer or something. And the person just kept making changes like daily.
Calling you multiple times a day.
Yeah. They'd call me constantly. I spend like 4 hours a day just talking about things. And I'm like, okay, you know. That's when I learned about putting change limits in contracts if you do a big corporate gig. So, you know, that's a thing. I like found myself avoiding my art room because I didn't want to work on his project. But that was also a long time ago. Was that like 5 years ago now? Time flies. Unless, of course, you're stuck in your house. You know. Yes, they are not quite a customer until they buy something. However, everyone is a potential customer. And that's, you know, something to think about. You gotta ride that middle line though. Like, yeah, the customer is most definitely not always right. There are things I won't draw. But, you know, at the same time, there are lots of things I will draw, and I try to concentrate on, like, that. It is. I spent 17 years working customer service with a large book establishment, and that really taught me how I never wanted to have to do it again, and how to like balance the line between making the customer happy and keeping yourself like within your realms of happy. 3D modeling looks both fun and complicated. I am impressed, Agent Blue. I don't do the computer stuff on our end. Even when I draw on the computer, which I'm trying to spend a portion of my inside time learning to draw on the computer. And it doesn't 100% suck. Even after I draw it, I'd be like, I'll hand it to my tech guy, otherwise known as my husband, and say, make it go somewhere. Like, I can't do any of it. Which is really weird, because in the 90s, I was all up on top of that. I could program, and not as much anymore.
I suppose you could always tell them the story about the thing that was up here earlier.
Oh, I do kind of have a where customer service meets bad ideas story. I most of the stuff I draw is in Copic markers, but sometimes I work in color pencil and watercolor pencil and such. And one time I got lagged. Got myself lagged. I didn't get as much done as I thought I was going to get in a very specific amount of time. And a piece that I would normally spend 40 hours on, I had 20 hours to color. And so, normally I'd get up every few hours and stretch and try to do all this self-care stuff, but I didn't because I didn't have time for it, and I like hurt a muscle in my shoulder and ended up in a neck brace for 2 weeks because of coloring. Don't do that. I have a kitty who's meow meow meowing, so if you can hear him, that's who's down here. You want to say hi? He probably doesn't, because he doesn't like being picked up much, but he's gonna... Oh, kitty joins. Yeah, you're a good boy. Say hi, IFC. We miss you. Yeah. Yeah, you're a good boy. I figured rather control it before it happens accidentally. He can hop up on the counter. He just will meow at us first to see if he can talk us into doing it for him. So do we have more questions? Maybe, I don't know.
Airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
I definitely don't know the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow, let alone if they're laden. He is a handsome little guy. He's so happy. He's always hungry, though. And the vet would like him to not be quite so heavy. But it's hard when he just looks at you with the eyes. You know. Yes, Kitty's dream. I thought about locking him out, but I also thought people would enjoy seeing Kitty. Currently modeling one of the characters from the band. Do I know Rocky a Fire? I'm bad with names. No. I have been told I do not know Rocky a Fire.
It's not from the 70s.
I'm not that old.
No, your parents' taste was.
Oh, it was music stuff, yeah. Yeah, they only played 70s, well, 50s music, really. I do have actually some shrinky dink paper. I have been trying to figure out what to do with it for quite a while now. My favorite thing about drawing is like being able to put something together to bring someone's vision out, what they want to see. Like, it really makes me happy when someone just lights up after seeing something. So, like, I love that kind of, like, when someone's really happy. My least favorite thing about drawing is, I'm always worried I'm going to let someone down and they're not going to like the art. So, like, I always... Oh, yes, you're a good boy. Sorry. He's using his scratching post, and I always try to say good things to him when he does that. But, like, I always try to, like, check with people about what I'm doing before I finalize it, because I'm always worried I'm going to mess something up and it's not going to be just right. So that's what my least favorite thing is. Showbiz Pizza. I don't think we have Showbiz Pizza here. Or I don't think we had, because most of those, I mean, we have Chuck E. Cheese, and we have...
Major Magic.
Major Magic? I don't think I ever went in one. So, you should post it on Twitter and at me so I can see it. 'Cause I'd be very thrilled seeing these things. We have Dave and Buster's really close to us. But, well, really close is different in the Midwest. It's about a 30-minute drive. Not that far. But I've heard other people be like, 15 minutes is so far away. So I don't know.
Charity.
And I have been reminded to make sure everyone goes to the top and helps out ERPs because they help with cute, adorable animals. So we have to help them. And like, they were, hoping to see some, hoping to see all of us this weekend too, just as much as we wanted to help each other. Yes, Dave & Buster's is Chuck E. Cheese for grown-ups. Although, funny enough, so the guys we all went to prom with, which is not my husband here, the guys were supposed to actually get a reservation for a restaurant. And I said, so where have you, I've asked over and over, where did you get a reservation? Oh, it's a surprise, surprise, surprise. So their surprise is that we were going to go to Applebee's for dinner, and Applebee's doesn't take reservations. And shocker, that was what all the guys at school wanted to do. So there was no room at Applebee's. So we were going to Chuck E. Cheese instead. Because games? And we were all geeks. And we got to Chuck E. Cheese, and everyone but me was 18. I was 17 still. And they wouldn't let me in without a parent or guardian. So we talked the limo driver into coming in with us and saying he was my parent or guardian. And we'd give him, free pizza to come and sit inside. No worries. It's not a good decision. I was 17. I graduated high school when I was 17. I was not 18 until a month after I started college. I wouldn't say their pizza is really good, but it was good pizza. My favorite pizza is Detroit style deep dish. Which, I was born and raised in Detroit, so it's tasty, but I can't have it right now. And of course, with the dreaded toppings, I like either pepperoni or bacon with pineapple. And when I can get everyone to agree with it, jalapenos. I think Chuck E. Cheese, it was like pepperoni or cheese, and that was it. I only remember getting pepperoni there. They could have had other options. So a Detroit-style pizza is a really thick crust. It's like 1.5 inches, 2 inches deep, but that's all bread. And then it's, on top of that is the cheese, and then on top of that, it's the sauce. Some people do put cheese on sauce, but I like the sauce, then cheese, then toppings. So it's like a really thick crust.
Must have crispy cheese.
Yes. Around the edges, the cheese gets really crispy. Like when you do the Opa cheese, and, you burn it a little, but it's really good. Yeah, anywhere, it's in a really deep pan, so that you can get the crispy burnt cheese around the edges. I have never had this. I don't think I've had Goodfellas pizza, but I've eaten a lot of pizza at Indy that I don't have names for, so it's possible. Many got stolen before we reached your table. Sometimes.
They took the wheels off it.
Yeah. No wheels anymore. It lost its go. I think I was still pretty young when we moved out of downtown Detroit, but I actually did live in downtown Detroit after I was born for a few years. And is the crust crispy or bready? Around the edges, it's very crispy, but it's bready. Like, it's all cooked, but it gets bready in the middle. It's kind of like if you took cheese bread, like, or the cheese sticksy, not cheese sticks, because it's all like mozzarella, but the cheese bread that you get, and, you know, you put all their toppings and sauce on top of that. Jet's Pizza is my favorite Detroit deep dish pizza, and it's super cheap. No, you can't have anything in Detroit. Actually, the house I lived in when I was young has been burnt to the ground. It's no longer there. We didn't usually play with the Canadian channels too much because we had to get you'd have to get it in, you'd have to get the signal up. We didn't have a high enough antenna. So the antenna is like, you know, it didn't go up high enough for the areas. When we moved out of downtown Detroit, we moved to an area that's like a floodplain in Michigan, and it's inside a bowl of, you know, so we didn't get Canadian TV channels, which is sad. Like, I mean, you could, like, do all of the things earlier in Canada, and all you needed was your driver's license at the time. So we'd go over to do things before you could do them in the United States and Canada. Ever try Pizza King or Arnie's? What's the pizza that we order after the convention?
We don't order it. Other people order it.
Yeah, or other people order it, but do you remember the boxes? Hey, staff, what's the pizza we order at the end? I've had whatever the staff ordered at the end of the convention. Yeah, well, you know, it's actually, now it happens because of neglect and they just fall down, but they stopped a lot of that when they did the Angels Night. And so you have, like, a lot of houses got burnt down in Detroit during Devil's Night, which was the night before Halloween. And then eventually people got sick of that, and they created a group called the Angels. And the Angels would go out on Devil's Night and watch for suspicious characters and stop fires. And that actually has brought a stop to a lot of Detroit fires. Now you just don't have any money to upkeep them, so life happens.
Oh, there's a lot of new stuff downtown, too.
There is. They're doing a very good job at gentrifying downtown Detroit. It's very pretty. I remember when I was a teenager, we went to City Club, which is not the comedy club, in downtown Detroit. And one of the people we had with us couldn't get in because they weren't old enough, so I stayed out with them. And it was on Cass Avenue. And we went down to go to a concert before COVID. And that one is... And now Cass Avenue is, like, got all kinds of stores and lots of fun stuff. And I had no problems parking my car on Cass Avenue recently. I never would have in the 90s. You didn't want to be on Cass Avenue in the 90s. But now it's like, no, park your car here. They'll still be here when you come back, really. It actually will.
It's the Pizza Arena now, though.
Oh, yeah, it's no longer, it's the Pizza Arena. Which is just weird. But it's the Little Caesars Pizza Arena, and that is where we went to see Elton John play. And that was the last concert I saw before COVID. And yes, it was a good show. And I will go back to the Pizza Arena once everything's over. In the after times. Yeah, it's always, my mom grew up in Detroit, and they moved out to Livonia in the 60s. And then in the 70s, after my parents got married, they moved back to Detroit because my grandpa owned houses there. It's a long story. But so they moved into one of his houses because it was free and it was 500 square feet. And then after I was 2, my sister was born, so we had to move out because there was no room in a 500 square foot house. But my mom still liked to take us down there all the time. So, like on a monthly basis, we'd just drive down to Detroit and she'd get out and we'd all walk around. It was interesting. I am jealous of Billy Joel and Elton John combo. I really enjoyed the Elton John. There was one, we had someone, so the one problem we had is that in the Pizzarina, they will let you take a carafe of wine back to your seat. And when I say a carafe, I mean like it held the entire bottle, and then you had your glass of wine, and that was full, and you could drink at your seat during the concert, which would have been fine for most people, except I don't know how many people need a carafe of wine for their concert. But the lady next to us definitely consumed at least that carafe of wine, and she just thought we were wonderful. I'm kind of surprised my honey didn't have bruises at the end of it, because she just wanted to, like, lay on top of him, and she wanted him to dance. It was interesting. It just added to the show, really. I kind of think, like, I don't know who else who do I want to see in concert next. I have no idea who I'd want to see in concert next. Oh, I know. I want to see Weird Al. I've seen Jonathan Colton. I want to go see Weird Al. But he's almost always in the Midwest during Anthrocon.
Or whenever we're somewhere else.
Yeah. He'll be in Michigan when we're not here. And it's always something that it's like, well, I can't exactly just cancel this to go to see Weird Al. I want to, but can't. I mean, shouldn't. I would also feel bad if I missed the con, though. I'd miss both. So did you see his Goodbye Yellow Brick Road concert, or did you see a different one? Or the Weird Al? I'm jealous! I want to see Weird Al so bad. I've been listening to him since a long, long time ago. Let's see. Let's see, like, I like weird, funny music mostly. So most of the people I see in concert, by them being like in the back room of a convention, somewhere down a dark hallway. I don't remember the first time I heard Weird Al. I know the first time I heard Dr. Demento. I could get Dr. Demento onto the radio on clear nights out of Ann Arbor when I was a kid in high school. So, you know. If you've ever been to a Hero Banks, I I have never been to a Haywood Banks concert. If you don't count what's like seeing people play at sci-fi cons and fur cons, I have seen like 5 concerts. And I have never actually purchased my own tickets. Technically, I have purchased them as in my honey bought them and I went, but I've never actually gotten online and purchased tickets. That's when I listened to them too, Leonard. High school, I had my bed in the basement, and my parents didn't know I wasn't asleep, and I would listen to Dr. Demento on the radio. But if it was raining, I couldn't get them in. And it was Sunday nights, or it had to have been Sunday nights. I will have to Google Haywood. I mean, it's also possible I'm more of a visual memory if I see people. It's also possible that I've seen Haywood somewhere and have no clue. I'm very good at doing that. When I was still working retail, one of the Detroit Red Wings bought a book at my station, and I sold it, right? And then someone else came up and said, "Do you know who you just?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, "He was on the book," and I still don't know who it was. I don't remember, but it was. Yeah. I was like, okay. I don't watch sports. Sports ball, yay! In this case, puck ball, puck sport. I don't know. There's one type of sport I do, and it is martial arts. So I am very fond of several martial arts. Does anyone have more questions? Because I think we have 15 more minutes. And I want to make sure if you have any questions. Although you will get to see me again tomorrow night and Sunday as well. Tomorrow, think of different things you want drawn together, because I'm going to try to draw as many mashups as I can in the time I have, which is about an hour. So, you know, if you really wanted to see a bunny that's also a... I have no idea.
Toy train. Toy
train, yes. A bunny toy train. Then you should show up and tell me you want to see a bunny toy train. Hopefully I'll take one item from one person and another item from another person and really mash things up so that no one knows what it's going to look like. Even me. And then Sunday, I am doing, I am coloring a piece that I have over here. I'll be coloring this. Sorry, I have lines right now, apparently. And you can download this outline from the link at the bottom of the screen and color along with me. And if you color with me and you post it onto on a Twitter with hashtag QQ, is it Indie Coloring with QQH, I believe is what I've got the hashtag listed at. I'll double check and rerun that on Twitter. And then I will, and DM me a address in the continental US. I will mail you a bookmark, random bookmark.
So what's the hardest thing to draw?
The hardest thing to draw. Colored pencil pieces are really the hardest to draw for me. They just take a really long time. It's the hardest, but it's mostly because of all the fine details. Like, if I'm gonna do a piece with like a lot of really, really fine details. So, does anyone have any more questions? Because I mean, I can talk for forever. I can ramble like the best of them. I'm really good at it. But I'm not sure you'll want to hear about them. Can you please put the link on Twitter for the coloring page? Yes, I will. I will definitely link the coloring page shortly after, sometime tonight. You will see the coloring page linked. My best con memory. Oh, I once did Baby's first badge. And I did that at IFC, actually. Baby's first badge at IFC, where we took the prominent traits of the two parents' personas and mixed them together. And that was a lot of fun. Most of the other ones I can't always tell on TV or on tape because I work with Dorsai and I get all of the con horror stories and I'm not supposed to say those.
It's not werewolf at...
I really enjoyed playing werewolf at FCN at the time.
I think Dragon Con.
I learned how to play werewolf at Dragon Con. But that was our honeymoon. So, you know, we had our honeymoon at Sci-Fi Con, Dragon Con. So... we drove there and we stopped at a few places. Like we stopped at friends' houses and we stopped at a place that like you could dig your own crystals because that was fun. And then we went to Dragon Con and I stayed in the most terrifying hotel room I have ever seen. Because it was really small and it had floor to ceiling windows and I am not a fan of heights. And we had to keep the shade drawn the whole time because if you opened it, the room was really small. We were like on the 23rd floor.
The TV pulled out over the bed.
Yes, in order to watch the TV, you had to pull it across the bed. It was that kind of small.
Was that worse than Murder Hotel?
Oh, Murder Hotel. It was differently bad than Murder Hotel. Murder Hotel... I did an art show in Kalamazoo. And honestly, this hotel is probably not there anymore. So I'm not going to say which one. But Murder Hotel, we went in and the place was all full of smells that I was allergic to. But not clean smells. And I got my room from someone in like a tank top and short shorts. And we went to our room. And there was no elevator. And we were on the 3rd floor and we had to walk up carrying our suitcase. Honestly, I wouldn't have ever even made it to the room if we didn't have like 6-hour turnaround. Like we had to be back at the show really early the next morning. So we went up to the room and all of the floors in this place were sticky. But I had to like, use the restroom, and we have a thing we do. We go in and we start setting up, and my husband always checks the bed for bed bugs, and like I unload the suitcase. Well, we didn't unload the suitcase. We just kind of set it to the side, and I open. Like, I go into the restroom, he starts checking the beds for bed bugs. He checks one of them. He checks the other. I come out and he says, well, we can use one of the beds. We had decided to get, like, the small size beds, the two fulls. Mm-hmm. because after a long day in a tent, sometimes you just don't want to touch anyone. Like, it's hot and sweaty. So we didn't want to touch people. Each other. So he's like, we can use one of the beds. And I was like, what are you talking about? There are 2 beds here. He's like, yes. We can't sleep in that one. And I was like, oh. And apparently, there was a very large red-brown stain in the center of the other bed that very, very much looked like someone was murdered in the bed. And then the tub had a surround put in that didn't actually fit the tub. So there was like 2 inches between the bottom of the tub and the top of the bottom of the surround. So when you got in it, it moved.
But it was only like $40 a night.
It was $40 a night. You get what you paid for. Remember that, because it's not always worth it.
Ooh, breakfast. Breakfast was worth it.
It came with breakfast. When we walked downstairs to check out, very early in the morning, the continental breakfast that was available was a loaf of Wonder Bread and a large container of peanut butter that the front clerk had her kids there, and they were spooning out peanut butter onto Wonder Bread. We went to McDonald's. It was an experience.
It was a great show.
It was a great show. It was an awesome show. I look forward to that show every year I get into it. Kalamazoo has just this really great outdoor art show. I will do it all the time. So long as it's not on a FurCon.
Just no more $40 hotel.
No more $40 hotel. I am too old for $40 hotel. There's a certain thing. No, there wasn't a toaster. It was just Wonder Bread and peanut butter.
It felt weird asking the kids to give you the peanut butter.
I know. I would have been like, can I have the peanut butter? No, McDonald's. Yeah, like I said, it was an experience. I will be happy never, ever, ever to do that again. There are certain things when you get to a certain age where you're just like, I want a bed, I want a shower that doesn't feel like I'm gonna fall 3 flights. You know?
Maybe Wi-Fi?
Yeah, Wi-Fi would have been nice too. Didn't have any Wi-Fi either. I think it was supposed to.
I wasn't hooking anything up to that network.
No, I wasn't either, but I think it was supposed to. I mean, really, literally, we just wanted to get 5 hours of sleep in a shower. It just failed to provide 5 hours of sleep in a shower.
A couple minutes left. Hit the charity.
Yes. So, you'll have to tell me that story sometime. The whiskey. But don't forget that part of this weekend is about herbs and those cute, cute little fuzzy animals that are so, you just want to hug them and cuddle them, and you don't want to call them George. So if you have an ability to do so, pop on over and mash that charity button to donate a few bucks and help them out. Get them some rabbit nibbles. And in just 3 minutes, it looks like we'll be on for Dragor's Doom game, which is a lot of fun. I have been playing Doom with Dragor on Sundays for several weeks now, and whenever I can make it, I stink at it, but I enjoy going to play it. I'm almost never alive. So, I hope you can join. Yes, the axolotls are adorable. I enjoy axolotls. I think everybody's doing pretty good. We're okay here. Keeping our heads above water. Much like your picture there that you put up, Xander. Luckily I kept talking enough that I didn't do much coloring, which is fine because, you know, I technically wasn't a coloring panel. I just always colored. It is also super hot in Michigan, or so I'm told. I don't, outside is not somewhere I go. So, you know. I hope everyone has lots of fun all weekend. See you tomorrow night. Yay!
Silver Gato Man, he bought me a coffee. Silver Gato Man, here is the song for thee. He likes to video all the panels at the cons. You should go and watch them whether they are short or long. Silver Gato Man, you video that's not a jibe. All of you go to his YouTube channel and like and subscribe.